Price of Jazz, coming in with another transmission from Factorio Outpost. All right, done quite a bit since the last time I sent out a transmission, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Specifically, all this. Yep, that is a heck of a lot of solar panels and accumulators for power generation. And actually, if I click on the grid so that you can see exactly what's going on, you will see that, well, now they're powering down, but I have 154 solar panels, and they output roughly, I think, 7.5 to 8 megawatts total, which is about as much as we consume, which is great. So during the day, we are able to essentially fully power ourselves on solar panels, and then we have accumulator capacities up to a gigajoule, which, as you can see, starts to drain a fair amount during the evening. But then it tends to be able to handle itself pretty well until morning comes, and then power kicks back in. And then our steam engines can output 5.8 megawatts in order to offset that during the night. So as we move forward, I might have to produce either a heck of a lot more accumulators and solar panels, or have a larger backup system with the steam. But I think for now, we're actually in a pretty good state. So as you can see, the accumulators are letting out all that energy. And I still have more solar panels being made here at my auto solar panel crafty. See, I just made 9 more. And so I'm going to be trickling them in as I see fit and as I can essentially afford to. But I am noticing a few things that I'm going to have to deal with here in the short term, which is just simply I'm constantly running back and forth, having to put fuel into all of these, which is pretty much exactly what I said I never wanted to have to do at the beginning of this playthrough, right? And so I think what I'm going to end up doing is, one of the things I want to do is switch this whole row over to electric furnaces, because that would at least cut down on a large part of the fuel that I have to do. And then another part is I might start producing some solid fuel from oil, which essentially is you're hardening up heavy oil into a solid brick, and then you can use that as fuel instead. It lasts quite a bit longer. You get a lot more energy out of it. I could switch over all of our power, all of our steam engines, as well as all of our furnaces to utilize that solid fuel, and that could be a really nice alternative to using coal. At least it would help us with that kind of time sink issue. But I had talked about how I didn't want to do that over here, right? I wanted to save all this stuff for batteries and for plastic. Well, turns out I was producing quite a bit. And I was actually, I wasn't able to keep up with my petroleum generation, so I actually had to put in a second chemical plant over here to do some more cracking into petroleum. But now I'm starting to build up an excess of petroleum, which is wonderful. And with some of those poison capsules that I had earlier, I decided to do a little bit of deforesting. So you can see up here, I've cleared out a large area, but over here, I cleared out all the forest that was here, and I had forgotten that we had these other oil deposits. So I think I might turn this into our kind of solid fuel production, as well as there's another resource that I need to start building up, which is lubricant, which is useful for some of the higher tier resources as well. So I think what we're going to be doing then is we're going to be working on those issues. We're also going to be researching all of these things that have to do with power armor. I'd like to get a really nice power armor setup going. So I want to get the old portable fusion reactor. Will be a nice alternative to get. And this sucker, I mean, let's look at it, y'all. I'm going to be Iron Man. That's what this is going to be. So let's research that one. So I think that's going to be another important thing for us, is getting that power armor so we're a lot more powerful to take on our enemies. And other than that, it's all about working towards this rocket defense research. That's how we can get off the planet. If I've got that, then we're able to defend the planet from invaders and whatnot, and that allows for the landing of our ships, and that's how we get off this rock. So that's the end game here, and we're getting pretty close to it. Before getting there, I probably want to get some robots up and running, which I haven't quite learned how to do, and I'm going to be trying to figure out. But getting some robots up and running to maintain what I've been trying to do here with this base. So I don't have to be here doing it, and we can still be getting dividends out of it into the future. So I am going to quickly gather my thoughts on how to set up this solid fuel production and lubricant production system over here, and then I will come back as soon as I've got that in the works so you can all see what I'm doing there. Price out. All right, coming back in. So, with all this oil over here, I thought let's do a couple of pump jacks. Maybe we'll do 2, and I'll have them pump right into tanks. So I want to do them towards the back end here, I think. Like so, maybe? And let's see if you can just go right to the tanks. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That way we know that they'll always be pumping at least to a certain level of a backlog before it goes into all of the processing that we're going to be doing here. And then from there, what it looks like we're going to do, if we look at, I'll just put these down unconnected right now so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. The refinery is going to be doing what it always does. I think we'll go for basic oil processing on this one because we do kind of want a more even split, I think. Yeah, of more heavy oil, because we're going to be using that to produce lubricant. And then for our chemical plants, we can take the light oil and the petroleum gas and turn that just into solid fuel. So we'll be taking all 3 of the outputs from the refinery and turning that into a bunch of different products. So hopefully we'll be constantly producing things. And then I think in the short term, I'm just going to have it go straight to a chest, and then we will hook it up to the grid shortly once I've also done a couple of more things. But let's go ahead and get that set up. So let's think. We've got both of these guys here. It'd be beautiful if I could just pop that guy right on there, huh? Just be like, yay, going straight into it. But I don't know if that is totally possible. I could maybe rotate them and get that to work, but that's fine. I also want to kind of future-proof it, as I always like to do. So we'll put it up here, I think. And we'll get both of these guys coming in. The other part about basic oil processing. Oh, getting more of our power armor stuff going. The other thing about basic oil processing is we don't have to worry about also connecting it up to water, which wouldn't be a huge issue, but it's just kind of, it's not necessary, you know? It's just not necessary. Okay, so hopefully that'll be pumping in enough oil that we don't have to worry about it too much. Let's go ahead and get, is that connected? Yeah, that's connected. We'll have to do some more, but that'll be fine. So we'll set you to basic. And from there, we will have our 3 different chemical plants. Oh, we are going to probably have to get water in for the chemical plants, but that is fine. But yeah, now that I think about it, it's like, oh yeah, duh. Okay. Do we want him to hook straight in? No, I think every one of them needs a buffer of a tank of some sort. And then we'll have both of these guys come kind of down this way, I think. So if we do it like that, I think we'll be fine. You can come straight out there. Oh, we out of pipes? I'm going to have to make a whole bunch of pipes. That's fine. Do them in 5s. Okay. We'll do it live. And you... Oh, do it like this. Can we? Oh, no, we can't. That's right. So we do have to do it like that. Because I always do like to have my goodness, excuse me, my space so I can walk through, even though I don't know why I would need to walk through there. I still want to. Okay, so we're going to build up our petroleum and our light oil there. That's beautiful. And then you, my friend, are going to be going into the lubricant plant, which, do we want to head in northward or do we want it heading over this way? We'll go, actually, you know what, because most of our stuff that we'll use it is probably down there, we'll have it come out this way. That's fine. So we'll do that. Do pipe to grounds there, which I know that pipe to grounds aren't, you know, it's not efficient that way. I'm using a lot of resources for just a 3-space or a 2-space gap, but I like being able to walk by it. So I think it's worth it for my convenience. Sometimes convenience is the most important thing. Okay. So you just need heavy oil and you're going to produce lubricant. That's wonderful. And we will just have that pump straight. Whoa, goodness. Pump straight into there. I don't see why we would need pipes for lubricant, so I think that that's totally fine by me. And we'll do... Will we do a double? I say we do a double. Why not? Okay. So we'll be getting a whole bunch of lubricant through here, so that'll be great. And then you two need to be going into chemical plants to produce solid fuel. So let's see what the solid fuel requires. So So if we say solid fuel from light oil, is it just light oil? Perfect. So same deal there. And chemical plant number 2. Go like this. Boop, boop. Another set of solid fuel. And do that. So now we can walk through there, no problem. And you're also going to be set to solid fuel. And then what we will have is a belt. I think that all the solid fuel is, once it comes out of the machines, it is the same. So being petroleum made or heavy oil made, it doesn't matter, or light oil made, it's all the same stuff once it comes out of there. Yeah, you'll see. So if we can have it set up like that, that's very quickly producing it, which is wonderful. And for now, like I said, we'll just go straight into a chest. And then we can start thinking through what we want to do with it. But with a chest like this, and actually let's use an iron chest. With something like that, we can let it build up for a while and then go put it into all of our machines, and then hopefully it'll last us for quite some time. And the net effect is we're also building up a whole bunch of lubricant, so that will be great. Let's put down a couple of lights so we can actually see in this area, huh? And then another quick update. I don't think I mentioned this, but I put down a whole bunch more solar panels. That's right. We're going to keep doing it every single time we get more, because I keep getting more. And it'll just help us with even more power generation throughout this. And I've still got that machine running. There's 10 more in there. It's just kind of skimming off the back end of all of the resources once they reach around. And so I figure, why not turn that into something while we can, so we're kind of helping ourselves without having to focus too much on it. I could be also making more accumulators, which I might switch over to doing, but at the moment, our 1 gigajoule seems to be way more than we could ever need. And actually, I'll look really quickly to see where we're at right now. All right, so this just ramped up, but we only got down to probably about 700 megajoules, so we really only need like 300 megajoules worth, and yet we're doing much more than that. So yeah, I'll be extending the solar sets up around in the areas where I don't think I'm going to be using that space. There is some more space all the way over here to the right that we might also fill up with solar panels, up through and into here. But I just kind of wanted to focus on more grid-based stuff while I could, before kind of getting into the whole jamming it into corners and everything. But yeah, that'll all probably be solar panel space. Okay, so we've got our lubricant going. We've got our solid fuel going around. I'm going to take another quick break and set up a couple of other things, and we will come back with another transmission. Price out. All right, coming in once again. So we've gotten a good chunk of solid fuel out here. This all seems to be working pretty well. The lubricant's building up, and that's actually going to be really useful for when we want to switch over and actually make that power armor I was talking about. Let's look at the ingredients for that stuff really quickly so you can know what we're going to be going through here shortly. So we're going to need the power armor, or at least the basic modular armor, to start so that we can put the stuff into. I'll probably go straight for the power armor. We do have alien artifacts, so we can do that. Requires 100 processing units and 30 electric engine units. Now, the reason that that is significant is those are things I cannot make in my hands. They do require the use of liquids. And so if we go and look at those in here in the basic ingredient stuff, we find that processing units require sulfuric acid, so I'm going to have to make them in conjunction with the sulfuric acid through the assembling machines, okay? And then the same thing with the electric engine units, they require the lubricant that we just made. And so we will have to set up a whole bunch of machines for producing processing units and electric engine units so that we'll be able to create the power armor and whatnot. Then we'll create our portable fusion reactors, energy shields, all this kind of stuff, and we will be flipping Iron Man. I'm researching all of the laser defense stuff, everything that we require for all of that. You know what? Let's make a couple of those. We were attacked once. It has been a while since we've been attacked, and now they seem to be ramping up again. So that's not to be unexpected. That does happen. I have built a few more radars, as you can see, so that we can expand our map view. And if we look, we can see that, yep, there are a good amount of alien colonies kind of getting around here. So I imagine it's probably this guy or this guy that came and attacked us, and they hit us right about here, so it's probably these ones. But we're going to have to be pushing out again against them, and I realize now there's one here as well. So we're going to need to do some more taking it to them. I'm not too worried about these smaller ones. This big one does concern me, especially if it extends, because they do get pretty big sometimes. And these other ones, maybe so. But once we have the power armor, we can really get into it and take them down. But really quickly, before we leave for today, I wanted to show you guys the value of that solid fuel. So this left-hand side I've filled with solid fuel. You can see we're at about 47 left over here, 48 here. I just pumped it with 50. And this sucker I just pumped with 50 as well, and it's down to 46. And so if you compare that, it's essentially double the efficiency, or at least double the amount of time that you get out of the fuel. And if we look at the bars, you can look how slowly that one is going down there for how the fuel is being used. And then if we look over here, you can see it's going much quicker. So switching over to the solid fuel is going to be really useful for us in cutting down on our need to be filling these machines constantly. The other thing is I have built a few electric furnaces, and as we can see, they are much larger. So I'm going to have to extend this belt out quite a bit in order to be able to utilize that. But I will be planning on doing that and having that set up for the next transmission. So with that, I think that what we're going to do is next episode, or next transmission, we're going to focus on power armor, all the kind of stuff that has to do with armor. That's going to be what we focus on for that. We're going to get a full suite of armor. It's going to be awesome. And weaponry and military stuff. Then we'll probably focus on robots and getting all of the automation set up. And then it's all about endgame, which I think is really going around, cleaning up a whole bunch of the alien bases and really kind of getting as much stuff as we can with those alien artifacts so that we can then move into building that rocket defense and getting the hell out of here. So, with all of that, thank you all for listening. It really helps keep my morale up here on this barren planet, this awful rock, and I'm really looking forward to getting out of here. So, be sure to keep tuning in, keep helping me out with all this stuff, and let me know your ideas for how to make this base a little more efficient. I know it's right now kind of a haphazard mess, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, and as a last little update, let's check how our power is doing. We're producing far more than this 6.9 megawatts with the solar panels that we now have. It's just that that's as much as we're currently producing because it's as much as we're currently using. It's funny how much more power we use once the lights turn on. That does make me think that maybe we need to remove some of our lights because, yeah, during the evening, these things suddenly ramp up and start costing a lot of power. Yeah, I see our consumption is starting to jump up a little bit, which is weird. So with all of that, thank you for listening, and I will see y'all next time.